Hey gamers, today there's a snake in my boots. Let's review Rattler. Check it out. Setup for the game is extremely easy. What you're going to do is you're going to take one of these 4 player tokens. Everyone picks a color. They'll start here on the starting side. I'm just going to play with 2 players right now. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to roll this green die and trying to get all the way up to the top of the mountain right here where the gold is. But of course you got to avoid a rattlesnake that is somewhere inside here and it's going to pop up one of these doors. As you see, there's a skull. That's nice and welcoming. But the snake is going to pop out of one of those 4 doors at any given time when you are trying to move up the mountain. In fact, at the top right here, I'm going to move the camera up. You can see that looks like that's a snake. What is that? All right, so anyway, how to play the game is, of course, each starting player will get some anti-venom tokens of their color. So I have green and yellow's anti-venom token, and they can use this at any time they want to, but once they use it, it's out. And each player is going to roll the die. So let's say yellow goes first. They're going to move 4 spaces. So they go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, one thing they're going to do before they end their turn is they're going to twist this knob around 4 times, just like they rolled. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's the snake they're turning around. You don't know where that snake's turning either. Could be this way, could be either way. So now green rolls and they roll a 3. 1, 2, 3. And here we go. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, still no snake. All right, so we keep going around until we hear a rattle. You're going to hear a rattle in this. Okay, so we hear the rattle. Oh, it's super scary. So at this point, these cowboys have some decisions to make. Starting with the green player, because it was his turn. He can go to one of the safe rocks. You can only go to a safe rock. They're just higher up on the board. And you can only go to the last safe rock you pass, not the nearest one. So for instance, here's the next one. Yellow player may be closest to that one, but he would have to go back to this one if green doesn't choose to go there first. Green may say, you know what? I'm feeling okay. I don't think the snake's going to get me. But yellow player's like, I'm not taking any chances. So he moves back and takes the high ground. That means if the snake comes out on his side, then he's okay. If it comes on green's side, green's going to go all the way back to the beginning unless he chooses to use his anti-venom. So I'm going to pick the camera up here. And let's see. So let's say yellow player was sitting here, green player was sitting over here. So this and this would be yellows. This and this would be greens. If you're playing with 4 players, you're going to all decide, you know, it's going to be on each one's going to pick a door here of where he's going to come out. Now, after that's been decided, you're going to press this button. And, oh, look out, he came out. All right, I think I said that was yellows. So look at that. There's the snake. The old Rattler there, and he just shot on out there. And so yellow, we see, took the high ground, so he is safe. He played it smart there, folks. And so the game's going to keep going around like that until someone gets to that treasure. Now, there's one thing here. This is actually a tent. It's the halfway mark. So if you can make it past this little bridge here, this little step here, if the snake gets you while you're going up here, you're only going to go back to the tent and not to start. So this is kind of like this is where it kind of saves your game and you get to respawn halfway up the mountain. And of course, the first player to the top of the mountain without getting snake bit wins. And that is Rattler. Final thoughts. What do I think about the game? Well, this is a very simple game, and I knew I wanted it from the first time I heard of it. My wife does not like snakes, and when this game makes that rattling noise, she always gets nervous. I knew she would like this game. This game was not easy to find. In fact, I have an incomplete copy. I'm missing 2 little anti-venom tokens, which doesn't really bother me because I can just get a few cardboard tokens to replace it of that color. But like I said, this was the closest thing I could find to a complete game. It's just that rare in the internet. I didn't know. I didn't have to pay that much for it, thankfully, but I just never see it. This game came out in the 90s, so it's not like ancient, but it is really cool as you're going up the mountain and you hear that and you think you know where it is. That's the other thing. I don't know how that thing turns, but it doesn't turn to face one door after the other. You think you could count. Every time I turn it, it goes to a different door. No, it somehow spins a little bit more. And like I said, I don't really know because I can't see underneath as we're turning what that mechanism would look like. But it is kind of neat because every time I thought that I could guess where it was coming out, it does not come out that way. So you do have to take a risk of staying in there or hopping on a rock that's back behind you. This game can take a long time if you're trying to play it safe, or you try to live dangerously. Maybe you can go for the gusto and get lucky and win. It is a fun little game for kids. I don't think I can recommend it for anyone because it's just so hard to find, and I'm afraid it's going to cost you a pretty penny. But if you find it for cheap and it looks like a game for you, then you should definitely get struck by the snake. All right, gamers, that's all the time I have for now. Until next time, game on.